I farm over 27 acres. This here is what I call home base, where the barn is, the packing house, the peach orchard, and some small vegetable acreage here. So when my great-granddad first settled in Onslow County, he purchased land, what's known now as Camp Lejeune. And during the early war, Camp Lejeune annexed or purchased for fair market value his property, and he moved here and purchased over 600 acres here, what's known as Hines Farm. The family generationally here have always farmed. However, I was an athlete in high school and I went on to college. And after college, my direction was not farming at all. After 24 years as an FBI agent and an FBI pilot, I retired. And during those last few years, and that was a part of this land division process, that's how I became so interconnected with the land, with the rich agricultural history. And so that became my retirement plan. I went to a lot of agriculture training through NC-A&T, through NC State. A part of my plan was meat goat operations as well. I'm not doing that now, but that took me to Tuskegee University to attend the Master Goat certification course, along with all those other trainings. So, if I wanted to do it, I wanted to find a farm that was doing it the way I was seeking to do it. I wanted to be the sole owner, sole decision maker. I first sought out to get lending, beginning farmer lending, since I didn't have an agricultural history to document production. I was told you probably won't even get granted lending, so I used my own money. So all of this is the product of a lot of my retirement savings and a lot of my own money. Looking into the lending data, and that was one of the criteria to show some farming history. Since then, I have received lending from farm services. So it's not that I've not gotten any help. I have been getting a lot of help from farm services, soil and water, NRCS, and so forth. I knew I needed irrigation. I knew I wanted irrigation. Two things I did not want to do. I did not want to feed deer, so hence I paid for fencing. And I did not want to have to rely on Mother Nature to wait for a rain event to irrigate my crops. So I knew I needed a well. So I went to Onslow County Soil and Water. And actually, I went to NRCS, and through NRCS and coordination with Onslow Soil and Water, we collectively came to the agreement that Onslow Soil and Water would be my best avenue for well funding. So I'd pay that money up front, and then I'd get back paid by Onslow County Soil and Water. NRCS paid for a survey for my goat plan. Based on that written survey, I came to understand that I don't have enough open land for a meat goat operation the size that I wanted to start and grow. NRCS, we've also done land drainage studies and things like that. And also in the NRCS helped finance my high tunnel. Labor is very hard to find. This is a very hard job, as evident by my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents. Over those years, it's hot, it's laborious, and it's not a very good income producer. But getting into agriculture, for me, it's a passion. And if it's not a passion, and if it's a work that takes a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of sweat, a whole lot of blood, and a whole lot of tears, people don't want to do it. People don't want to do it. So there are folks that you can find. There are crew labor leaders around North Carolina that do this kind of work. But of course, you're going to pay a fair wage close to the H-2A labor rate for non-H-2A, meaning H-2A, you get farm workers from Mexico or some other countries. However, you have to house them. You have to pay to get them here. You have to pay to get them home. You have to also give them a certain number of hours per week. They've got to inspect your housing, because you just can't let people stay in anything. Inspect your housing, they inspect your worker sanitation and things like that. Peaches here in eastern North Carolina are almost nil. If you've got the soil, if you got the methods and training, you can grow peaches here in eastern North Carolina, and that's evident by what I'm doing here. Peaches were the first thing I planted, but peaches, it takes 3 years to produce and harvest marketable crop of peaches. So that's 3 years of input with planting, with irrigation, with fertility, with fungal disease management, with insect management, that you're not getting that return on. So that's 3 years I knew that I wouldn't get a return. The second year I planted my first crop of collards and turnip and mustard, and I sold collards right here out of my barn before I put in the packing house. So the first crop that I grew and sold was collards. My primary retail outlet is my on-farm store. I have a mobile market. Sometimes I'll go to farm events where they have other vendors there. So I'll pack up and take tents and tables and our produce to those mobile markets. And I've got a grant in for a refrigerated trailer to be able to do more of that, to be able to go to some of these food desert locations in our county and surrounding counties, because fresh, nutritional vegetables provides for healthy living. I've almost quit several times. Every day on a farm or in your farm plan and in your farm management, there are all kinds of problems. There are some days the farm wins, some days the farmer wins. And the day that the farm is going to win, I'll pack up and go home. There's a lot of humbling going into growing fruits and vegetables. I would certainly encourage someone to start small. I'd encourage someone to learn as much as you can before you go spending money, because it is a lot of money. Even at the small scale, you have seeds, you have fertilizer, you have equipment, then you have whatever you're going to package and sell your products in. Then you have marketing. So all of these costs, when you put them on paper, hence that business plan, that's one number. But when you get boots on the ground and when you start doing the work, that number goes way high.